Hey guys, so I'm back. I already gave the news, obviously. For those of you who are not aware, the WoW Lauren has been delayed again, which means the show has been delayed again. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. I have done everything within my power to prevent this, but I have simply lost that hard drive and I cannot restore it. It is literally a paperweight. There, I'll even show it to you here. It's this one right here. See? It's it's nuked. It's gone. This is obviously only part of it. The other half is over there. So, yay. But I did want to talk about one thing. So let's leave this piece of crap over there where it belongs. And why don't we talk about something else really quick? What I want to talk about is positivity and negativity. I've discovered in my old age that I'm getting less and less tolerant of negativity. I'm just really tired of having it in every aspect of my life. I see comments on movies or games or books or food or people or politics or finances. And it's just this overwhelming morass of negativity. And I'm so sick of it. And so recently, as some of you are probably aware, I mentioned how I was going to be kind of trying to shift focus back to normal operating procedures. No major lore runs, no major life events getting in the way of the show, which is so. I need to clarify something, by the way. Some people have exclaimed that the lore runs and the streams have overtaken the show, and that's not actually true. The fact that I was moving, the fact that I had real life issues, that's what was getting in the way of the show. Just to make that a little bit clear. Yes, I was focusing on the WoW lore run and will continue to focus on the WoW lore run, duh. But once it's actually done, oh my god, I will also start focusing on why my green screen has been giving me so many issues today. But that's it, it's not like the lore runs and the stream stuff has overtaken the YouTube stuff, at least not in intentional design, if you know what I mean. Yes, it is a very black morass. Um, Hang on just a second. There we go. We're just going to do that, and hopefully that'll fix our issues with the green screen for right now. Anyways, but I want to talk about something. So I put out that news post saying we're going to be refocusing, rebalancing the show and basically getting the show started up again. It's just really what it is after the last like 2 months of hell. And I got a couple of comments from people who are like, hey, we well, these comments were negative, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I wanted to kind of explain a couple of things. Now, some people are probably going to go ahead and defend some of these negative comments. For example, one person made the comment that I have abandoned the YouTube side of things. Okay, fair enough comment from certain perspectives. And you might think that I am being derogatory for basically dismissing that comment. Let me explain a little bit of my perspective. Back when I was doing everything full tilt, 4 episodes coming out every week, right? Voyager, Oblivion, and then the D&D stuff, the D&D blogs, and the main ruminations. I had a person more than once. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in tossing any poo at anybody. That's not what this is about. Okay, I'm leading up to this, so give me a minute. But I had people comment on like a Saturday after a rumination had gone live, saying, "Well, when's your next rumination? Are you going to be doing another Voyager next week? What's taking so long?" I have actually gotten those kind of comments semi frequently for literally more than 2 years at this point. So after a certain point in time, I just kind of look at that and be like, so I'm not trying to act like this is some "oh, you've wounded me" kind of situation. I do admittedly have rather thin skin. I'll admit to that. But it did kind of trigger me. I shouldn't use that word. That's a bad word. That's a bad word. It did. I was already depressed because of real life issues. I was already in a bad way for the last week or so, especially and partially because of the show, because I haven't really been able to focus on the show. I have been so busy with real life stuff. My yesterday was spent in a car. I got up early, spent 2 hours streaming Doom, got in a car, and got home at 1 in the morning. That was my yesterday. You get that? Um, My point is, I have been stressed and I have been very depressed because I haven't been able to focus on the show and other things that are personal and nobody else's business. And well, in fairness, I've already told you, like the damn hard drive or like the car, like the bug situation. I had to actually call exterminators over for. But anyways, so I'm doing all this and I get a few comments, and that just sends me into a rather negative downward spiral. And before I continue, I kind of want to, well, yeah, let's go. I'll go and finish this story, then I'll explain kind of where I'm going with this. So I was in a car for hours and hours and hours, and I was in my car with my sister. We were doing stuff that doesn't matter. And on the trip, I mentioned all this to her and how I was just kind of, and she started talking to me about it and asked me about it. And she's a little less diplomatic than I am when it comes to some of this stuff. She said some rather derogatory comments herself. But one thing she brought up interestingly was, well, how many positive comments did you get? And I thought, well, that's an interesting question. I hadn't actually thought of it that direction. So, who here would like to learn a little bit about human psychology? Really basic stuff, nothing fancy. I want you to do a thought exercise really quick. I want you to imagine that you've gone out and about 100 people in your day, just randomly as you're going throughout your day, wherever you work or play or live or whatever, have said, I like your hair. That really suits you. Hey, what's going on? How are things? You know, what's up? About 100 people are like, and then one person in that day says something negative. One person, let's say it's even the worst kind of negative. It's that horrible passive aggressive negative kind of thing. Like, and I'm actually kind of bad at this, but like for example, oh well, I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with it if you do it, or oh, sorry, I thought you knew that we're past that point in fashion, or oh, you're going to get a haircut soon, right? That kind of really horribly passive aggressive, derogatory, insulting comments, which I hate. Now, of those 101 people, which is the one you think you're most going to be remembering? Which is the one you're going to fixate on the one? Which is the one you're going to pay the most attention to of the 101 comments? Yeah, it is. Again, this is very, very basic human psychology. It is in our nature to pay attention to contrast first of all, but to also place more emphasis on the negative. It is literally built into us. And so that one person, you end that day and it's harder. I mean, it's not like you forget the 100 positive comments, but they just kind of fade compared to the jerk, right? Now I have that problem a lot. I really do. So my sister made me enumerate. She made me sit down and count. Facts. Functional, not opinions, not vagaries, but what is the reality? And I'm like, well, okay, hang on. So I sat down and I started going through my message history, and I started going through some of my Twitch messages, and I get all sorts of messages all the time. And I had a bunch of messages saying, specifically about the WoW lore run, thank you for doing this. I never realized there was this much lore in the 1 to 60. I never realized there was this much story in the questing. I usually just push to the end game. I didn't realize that there was this much, dialogue and interesting stuff in the dungeons. I had no idea the connections between this dungeon and this quest. I had no idea that there was a story arc going through these zones. I actually enumerated it, and the rough ratio is I get about 60-ish comments that are positive versus one that is negative. That's about the ratio I have in actual, factual, counted it out numbers. And that did cheer me up a bit. But I want to clarify something, because I'm going to put this up on YouTube, and I know some people are going to feel like I'm attacking them, and I am not. Let me make this 100% clear. Most of you guys, my YouTube viewers and my streamers both, have not seen the negative comments. I have a system in place now and have for months, and will continue for the rest of forever. I have no intention to ever take it down, that I have to actually manually approve every comment that goes live. Some of the harassment, some of the negativity, some of the general comments were just getting bad, and I realized, logically speaking, that the bigger I got, the worse of a problem that would be. And I have a brain. So rather than just allow everyone to go up And what screen tearing? What are you talking about? Quite um very distracting. The most of the comments that I refer to that are the truly negative comments, you guys never see because I just don't allow them to go live. I also get messages like that. I also get messages on Twitch like that. I get whispers on Twitch like that. And occasionally I get someone who shows up in Twitch who I ban immediately because they say the thing like, "Oh, was the barbershop closed down?" I love that example because that's just such a great example. It's such a backhanded, derogatory, negative, insulting, passive aggressive bullcrap. Hate that crap. So most of you guys haven't seen most of what I've been seeing with regards to these negative comments. I mention that specifically because some people might assume their critical feedback is negative. Now, I do allow the occasional negative comment to go live on my channel, absolutely. However, I want to clarify what I mean by positive and negative comments. A positive comment does not mean you're amazing. A positive comment is not blind praise. A positive comment is not you licking my boots. Okay, that's not a positive. Well, okay, that is a positive comment, but that's not what I mean. I'm not looking for everyone to heap praise upon me. If you come to me and say, "Arsh, I think such and this is why I think it, and I feel like it needs to go in this direction," I say, "Okay, thank you for the feedback. I'll take that into account." That is a positive comment. If you say, "Well, I disagree with you on this, and here's what I think, and here's why," dot, 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 that is a positive comment. If you come to me and say, "I agree with you on this, and you have brought joy to my life," like what Samurai, I know you guys don't have chat, so I'm just going to read this. Samurai just said something. My ex is playing through the Kingdom Hearts games, and I'm showing her the Kingdom Hearts lore run after it. I know I paid for it, but thank you genuinely. That is a positive comment. Do you know how many times I've had someone say thank you for what I do? Do you know how many times I've had someone say that I help to add to the enjoyment of a game, and however much I meander and talk, they like the fact that I'm just a genuine guy, not going by a script, not trying to put on airs, or not trying to play a character. Instead, it's just me sitting here talking to you. Do you know how many positive comments I get about that? And I get tons of people who look at me and say, "Hey, you, you know, I don't agree with you. And here's why. Dot, dot, dot." You know? Those are positive comments. I've already given you an example of a negative comment, that stupid barbershop quote. It's just, it doesn't add anything. It doesn't, there's nothing there that is of a positive nature. If you come to me and you say, "I don't like your streams," "Arsh, I don't like your streams," and you say nothing else, that is a negative comment because there's nothing of substance there to add to it. You need to tell me why. You need to tell me what your issue is. If you come to me and say, "Well, your website is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen," and I got a comment like this, which I had to not show, that is a negative comment because nothing has been added, nothing has been stated, nothing has been proffered. There is no constructive feedback. There is no constructive criticism. There's just an insult. If you just insult someone, that's a negative. If you just deride someone, that's a negative. If you just try to put someone down, that is a negative comment. So I want to clarify this because the vast majority of you guys do not give me negative feedback, and in fact, or negative comments, and a lot of the. And I really wanted to clarify that because I worry that I don't want to come across as if I'm trying to shut down people who give constructive criticism, constructive feedback, constructive disagreements. Because I've always tried to engender that within my people. So that's why this was really important to me. I've been wanting to talk about this for a bit, and I felt this was a good time to talk about this. And so that's the difference between positive and negative feedbacks. And I've gotten a huge amount of positive feedbacks. And when I started thinking about that and enumerating it, I started thinking about it logically. I realized there was no reason to pay attention to that one idiot. And I'm just going to say it that way. That one bastard who decided it was in his or her best interest to try and ruin my day. Because people, because the internet, because that's how things work in the world. I can't even imagine what it's like trying to go through the comment section of people who are far more popular than I, as was pointed out in chat just a moment ago by Takoida, I believe. Total Biscuit has just flat off turned off comments on his YouTube, and PewDiePie did that months ago. When you get to a certain level, the negativity is just going to seem overwhelming from people like that. So I kind of wanted to talk about this, and I kind of wanted to share these thoughts with you guys. And I wanted to say thank you to all the people who gave positive comments, whether you were giving praise, whether you were giving gratitude, whether you were sharing something personal to you, whether you were telling me how you disagree with me, whether you were telling me how you think I should be doing things better, whether you were trying to help me improve my show. All of you have been giving me positive feedbacks, quite literally have given me the, for lack of a better way to put it, oomph to keep doing the show. This is a very stressful job and it takes a huge amount of my life. And it's very easy to get discouraged. Like I said, I have thin skin. But you guys have helped me to keep going. You've helped me to keep, to not throw in the towel. And I wanted to say thank you to all of you. So, I'm going to go ahead and toss this up to YouTube, basically right now. So I guess I'll go ahead and give the usual thing I do at the end.